think I'm losing my mind.
Please! Please!
So it looks like Ichigo has come to spirit away Zoro's soul into the Seirete, where Zoro will train under Kenpachi for 100 years and ultimately become a Royal Court Guard squad member in Bleach, clearly because One Piece is no longer suitable for Roronoa Zoro because this man has a Zanpakuto by the name of Enma and it's Bankai, King of Hell. Listen, yo, Zoro, what is going on with Roronoa Zoro? I think is one of the main topics that folks have on their mind after reading this chapter 1038. Now, if you want to see my full live stream reaction to the chapter, go and check out my Cole Requiem channel, link in the box below, as well as to that stream directly, also in the description box down below. Subscribe to it. If you don't know, that's how I'm gonna do things from now on. And of course, if you don't know, you can also go to my Twitch, link also in the box below, where you can enjoy that content, the full stream, as well on Twitch. Now, let me get right to the Zoro stuff before we get to the other stuff in the chapter, because I know people are talking about Zoro. Is Zoro going to die? The answer is simply put, no.
Correct.
But maybe if it's for a power-up ultimately, right? So there are 4 things when it comes to Zoro right now. Number 1, what Chopper says is the case, ultimately speaking. The Mink Sensu being has worn off, Zoro's not on the verge of death, he can't move his body, and then in comes the Reaper. Hey, yo, I got lost on the way here because you're kind of wild, Zoro. Your GPS sucks, but I found you finally. I'm coming for that head. Zoro, Yamero! Yamero! So ultimately speaking, it's not anything special other than Zoro's body is actually to the point where it's almost near death and he needs assistance ASAP. And I think that there is a certain feathered friend coming there like, I'm gonna heal you, yoi. And then Zoro gets bathed in blue as he's recovered with the power of the Phoenix Fire. So that is possible, yes. We haven't seen where Marco is, yoi. Therefore, Mr. Yoi could come in there and help out Zoro from this situation. So, number 1, it is what Chopper says it is. Zoro is about to die. That's simple. Number 2, the Soul Kingu, Brook, is a straight meme lord. Brook and Robin have found Zoro, and Zoro is actually looking at Brook, and he thinks it's actually Brook's uncle that spent time in the penitentiary. He's like, whoa, nah, yo, this guy. Yo, this guy feel different, man. Nah, this guy's energy is completely sinister. Of course, obviously. But because Zoro is so damaged right now, he's actually hallucinating, like he's under Aizen's Kyoka Suigetsu. He's hallucinating that Brook is the Reaper. And then next chapter, we're gonna have Brook like bunk Zoro, like, oi, Zoro-san, huh? Nani? What? Brook? And then they just meme it. So that would be actually pretty funny. I ain't gonna lie. It would be hilarious if it was Brook straight up memeing Zoro. That's number 2. Number 3 is, well, Robin. And this one is a bit of an odd thing here, but I did see in a Twitch donation, someone talk about the idea that Robin's awakening, which people think it's her awakening, the Demonio Fleur that we saw against Black Maria, that's also bloomed or awakened other monsters or demons or entities within the other Straw Hats.
What?
Ish, kind of, sort of. I mean, it's something like that. Listen, maybe you have a better idea of what this is. Is it possible? Maybe, because we do know that awakenings can affect other people, because we see that Kid can have his magnetism applied to other people, and so maybe Robin, in a non-erotic way, can have people bloom their inner demons. I suppose? Yeah, maybe. When it comes to Zoro, King of Hell, this Reaper thing, when it comes to Sanji, Ifri, when it comes to Luffy, some inner thing within Luffy, like Sun Wukong something, Gear 4, Gear 5, whatever. It's a weird idea, but is it impossible? No, I guess not, just highly unlikely. And then number 4, the main bit, would be the swords. So when it comes to the swords, the first and the safest bet would be Enma, where the Reaper is Enma, or which would be pretty ridiculous, But considering how Enma is just so goddamn busted, it's actually Death itself, but Enma blocks Death's attack. Like, he goes for a swing, Zoro's like, no! Opens his eyes, what? Enma's like floating. Oh no! Enma is just floating in midair. Like, no! I have chosen this man to one day lead hell. You mere peon, Death, will not harm a single hair on his head. Yo, man. Enma is a trans-dimensional sword, and Enma can stop the advance of even the Grim Reaper itself. Because what is the Grim Reaper to the King of Hell? Yeah, okay, alright. So, but yeah, I could, in a really dumb, and by the way, if that happens, if that actually happened, I don't want to hear a single damn person talk about how Enma's not a power-up.
So don't blow it. Don't do drugs.
You're hallucinating just as hard as Zoro is. So whatever you're doing,
Stop it. Get some help. Be better.
The second idea is not Enma, it's actually Waluigi Monji. This idea came from either Thunderbird, KH, or Syl during the stream for the reaction, the tier 3 portion of it, where I think it was Syl. The idea is that symbolically, Zoro had actually used 3 swords against Killer, but his third sword was the scythe that Killer had at the time Kamazo, and the scythe replaced the sword that he normally has in his mouth, which in this case would be Waluigi Monji. That is the sword that normally goes in Zoro's mouth. Hey, yo, therefore, pause, goddamn.
God is forgiving.
The whole point here is that it's a symbolic cue that the Reaper is actually Waluigi Monji, and then this is going to be like the start of the process of Waluigi Monji and Zoro getting a better pair bond, something like that. Ultimately speaking, whether it's Wado, whether it's Enma, whether it's Sankatetsu, it all leads to one thing: a power-up, a Zoro power-up, which will probably be like a Black Blade. Though the idea of like Death's essence or Death's touch turning a sword into a Black Blade is kind of weird, considering how Zoro got demolished by Mihawk. He had Nanimo, he had Kizaru, all these moments in the past, and not a single time was a Black Blade activated when he was very close to death's door. This man has dodged death several times. So it'd be kind of weird. It'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
So now we've gone through all that Zoro goodness, all right? Let's get to the rest of the chapter. The chapter is a pretty hectic chapter in terms of pacing and structure. There's 8 individual parts in this chapter, but the Zoro bit I know that folks want me to talk about for sure, and that's why obviously it's in the video, no doubt about that. And there's another main topic that needs some fleshing out, obviously. So first of all, the Hokage duel, very funny. The Will of Fire clearly lives strong in this shinobi, or in his own quirky way giving homage to Kishimoto's Naruto, I think, personally. That's the first thing. Second thing, Jinbei is a Chad, it is what is there. But Frankie is actually en route to Zoro. That is one thing we can't ignore here. We talk about Marco maybe en route to Zoro, but Frankie is trying to find where Zoro is. What can Frankie do at this point in time to help Zoro if Zoro is actually near death? Maybe his cola does have some healing properties. That'd be a very good ad placement for Coca-Cola in One Piece if Frankie's Coke could heal. Now that's A-okay. Boom, paralysis.
Touch a pressure point, shut your whole body down. Bow. It's a wrap. All right.
After that, Izo. Just die.
Die.
Look. Oh my god. Look, yo, I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? He's having his moment. Maybe Usopp picked up a few things from Izo when he saw Izo do that crazy marksmanship in front of him. But stopping CP0 is a massive death flag. But then again, the Scabbards have had death flags across the board, and Oda continues with this tomfoolery with the Scabbards. At this point in time, I am convinced, because of Kinemon's ass and Kiku being alive, and I think even Kanjiro too, there's a good chance where all the scabbards, including the traitor, is alive. And it just...
The man wants to die.
Kill him!
And if the scabbards, if no scabbard dies, come the end of this arc,
It became personal with me.
now, Yamato and the Ghost, honestly, just get it done. Yes, we finally arrived at the basement, and we have these Wile E. Coyote gigantic bombs in the basement. It was kind of dumb. Why are they just random? And there's also a nuke symbol, tactical nukes symbol. So only Pell can be in this area and survive if it went off. Confirmed. But the ghost thing, it's a grandiose threat that is, honest to God, unnecessary. Why Oda did this, I'm not too sure. He should just killed off Kanjiro all damn day, but Kanjiro had to do more, and then this involves Yam to do more. Like, basically, all these characters have to do something more until we get to the point where we finally wrap up Luffy versus Kaido. Now, the cover story is really, really interesting. There's a few things that happen here, and the 2-3 guys in know too, the idea that Pudding's gonna help Niji and Yonji because they're Sanji's brothers, even though she probably knows that Sanji's like them. Nah, because she likes Sanji a lot. And also, Judge, in the last cover story page, is he en route to get them back, or did he just leave? I'm of the assumption that he's trying to think of a way to actually get them back, but maybe just left. Maybe, which is kind of wild. He left his own sons by themselves to be stuck in Montdor's world of books. Montdor gets a W. That's a fat W for the thickest dude in One Piece. That's facts. What the? When did this happen? Based on the first cover page of this cover story, I'm guessing that this happened recently when they lost the Big Mom, so a few weeks ago. But it's not necessarily that clear, I think. It actually could be more recent than we think it is. And if it is, this could be setting up for a return to Whole Cake Island, which I'm cool with. I'm absolutely cool with. Because Whole Cake is right now, without a doubt, the best arc in the post-time skip by far. Especially if Judge had to go and beg Sanji for assistance to save his other 2 kids. And plus also, this does coincide with what Katakuri told Luffy at the end of their fight, where he said, will you come back to defeat Big Mom? He said, yeah.
いつかお前はビッグマムを倒しに来るのか
So I'm cool with the return to Whole Cake Island, for sure, without a doubt. And ultimately, when it comes to their capture, even though Jinbei and the fishermen, they escaped and they partied and so on, Germa did not fully escape unscathed. Therefore, this does help out the Bad End musical. So it wasn't just, hey, we were able to escape and party. No. Judge lost 2 of his kids, 2 of his super soldiers, Yonji and Niji. Bad End.
Life or dead.
Now, the last thing, on the note of Big Mom and the Bad End musical, Trafalgar D Water Law versus Big Mom featuring Kid. Law has been too damn impressive against Big Mom. In a general sense, he's been very, very impressive. The man is actually carrying this fight when it comes to his abilities. However, there is some tomfoolery going on here. Like in terms of just how much endurance, how much damage you're able to take, both Kid and Law at this point in time. But then also, Law does his awakening again. How? Law literally said in chapter 1030, answering Kid's question about his awakened powers, I'm still not used to it. I'll do it if I'm on my last legs. But the stamina consumption is extreme and it ensures I'll lose the battle. That's what Law literally said 8 chapters ago. Dog, what? Huh? I mean, Kid doesn't use his awakening on Big Mom, he makes a bull. He does a similar attack to what Diamante does in Dressrosa. But Law was scary. This man Shock Willie shook me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Big Mom spewing out that much blood from her body after the second Shock Willie, and this man's sword grew like 40 feet. Nah. Law something else crazy, yo. Like, Law, he scares me, yo. Even though it was impressive on Law's part, it's not making sense, yo. It's just not making sense how Law can make his awakening appear again when he himself said that he couldn't do it again, but he did it again. But the most important thing here is obviously what Kid said in this chapter. Because at the end of the fight, what Kid denotes to is something that does weigh heavily in my idea that Big Mom will not be defeated truly in this arc. When Big Mom says to Kid, "I guess you brats really want to take my head, don't you?" And then Kid says, "For some reason, I feel like I'm driven by a different goal now." So Kid right now has no intention of killing Big Mom and taking her head. According to him, at the end of the chapter, and Law as well, "I'd rather die than let you go to the roof." So it looks like Kid and Law right now are dead set on stopping Big Mom from getting to the roof, not necessarily defeating Big Mom. Very important. And when I say defeat, I mean truly defeat. I believe Luffy's words. When Luffy told Big Mom face to face, he who has far more onus to take down Big Mom than any other supernova outside of, I guess, Capone. When Luffy says to Big Mom, "I'm gonna beat you after I take down Kaido." When he told Law on Punk Hazard, "I want to beat all of the Yonko." Me, all the Yonko. I believe Luffy. I do. And because there is so much onus on Luffy being the one to beat Big Mom in earnest and truly, I don't think that Kid or Law have the right to beat Big Mom. But the problem obviously is that Law is so broken, the Kid is scary. Like, Law could probably do another Kroom, even though, again, 8 chapters ago, this dude literally said doing the Kroom would guarantee a loss because it consumes so much stamina. One time, and yet he's bouncing back like he has the Gumma Gumma no Mi. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense, yo! But because the title of the chapter is Kid and Law versus Big Mom, if we base this on the Robin's fight concluded with Black Maria with a chapter called Demonio. And then the previous chapter was Robin versus Black Maria. But in the case of Sanji and Zoro, their fights did end with the title of the chapter being Sanji versus Queen and Zoro versus King. The same thing goes for Jinbei versus Who's Who, where the title of that chapter is also the conclusion of the fight between those two. So I am leaning way more towards the latter rather than the former, meaning that I think that at this point in time, we move away from Big Mom and Kid, maybe have Kid and Law force Big Mom off the island in some way again, and then we call it a damn day. But ultimately speaking, Big Mom herself should still be A-okay against Luffy in a future arc, preferably the next arc, which makes the most sense. So, on that note, this chapter is pretty chaotic in terms of its pace, as per a usual One Piece chapter. When it comes to character growth and character development, the character that has the most in this chapter is Kid, because of clearly what he says about changing his agenda when it comes to Big Mom. But I'm not too sure if many people, in particular the Kid fan base, are big fans of Kid's decision to change. And then also you can argue for character Izo gets something as well, but honest to God, I think the vast majority of us don't care. And then of course, there are some very sus things going on. There are some, I'll clearly argue, continuity issues with Law being able to use his Kroom again. It doesn't make sense. Even if it's some Will of D, whatever the hell, no. No. So, the chapter overall gets a 6 out of 10. Okay, it's an okay chapter, One Piece. Structure-wise, could be better. It had some intriguing things here or there, but it's nowhere near the level of the last chapter. Last chapter was great. Last chapter was amazing, 9 out of 10. This chapter, not so much. Not so much.